I'm Ginny Secha, and I teach first grade in Henrico County. Today, we're going to work on retelling a story from beginning to the middle to the end. Now, when you retell a story, you're only focusing on the most important parts. And by retelling or summarizing a story, you're showing that you really understood what your story was all about. Last week, I read a fantastic story that I wanted to tell my friend all about. But when I retold my story to my friend, they didn't seem to understand. This is kind of what it sounded like. Oh my gosh, I read the best story. It was fantastic. It had this cute little dog, and I don't know, was it a girl or a boy? It probably doesn't matter. But anyway, there were capes and they were flying in the air. And oh, wait a minute. Was it a blue or a red cape? You just have to read the book. That retelling didn't go so well, did it? It was confusing, really out of sequence. And it was like I had no plan at all for my retelling. Luckily, I actually do have a plan, a strategy to use when you retell a story. Now, a strategy is a recipe where you follow it step by step, resulting with a fabulous outcome. Now, my strategy for retelling a story is giving that retelling the high five treatment, the VIP way. So let's dive in together and retell the story, My Red Velvet Cape by Dana Sullivan. And we're going to use the high five with the VIP treatment way to retell. Here is the high five retelling strategy in order. And we focus on characters, who is in your story, setting, when and where does your story take place, and then the events in the beginning, the middle, and the end. And for each of these steps, we always want to make sure we give it the very important treatment because we only want to do the most important parts. So we give it the VIP, very important parts treatment. So together now, let's retell the story, My Red Velvet Cape by Dana Sullivan, by giving it the high five VIP treatment. Mateo, Grandma's on the phone. Happy birthday, Mateo. I made you a red velvet. Grandma made me a red velvet cape for my birthday. I can't wait for my superhero party today. This is a good place to stop and start doing our retelling. So we've learned who the character is, Mateo, and that he's in his house getting ready for his superhero party. So I've decided to write those thoughts into a sentence, and I put in the book, My Red Velvet Cape by Dana Sullivan, it is Mateo's birthday, and he is at home getting ready for his superhero party. Now let's make sure we give it the VIP treatment by only focusing on the most important parts. I didn't say that there was a really cute dog in our story. I didn't say that it was in the morning with Mateo asleep at first. The more important parts so far are Mateo is our character and he is at home getting ready for his party. What we've also learned is that in the beginning, Mateo thinks Grandma made him a red velvet cape for his birthday. So I've put that down in a sentence. In the beginning of the story, Mateo thinks his grandma is making him a red velvet cape for his birthday. Again, VIP treatment. I didn't put that Mateo was running around with grandma on the phone. It is a fabulous detail, but not the most important part of our story. Now, before we get to the middle, I do want to say one thing. Your middle parts of your story tend to have the most events and the problems that make the story exciting. I've taken our middle and broken it up into two parts, then and next. That will help me organize my thoughts for my retelling. So let's get back to the story. When I get my red velvet cape, I'll take Alonzo on his morning walk. I won't need to hold my sister's hand on the way to the bus. Everyone will want to sit next to me at circle time and play with me at recess. I will always make it to the bathroom on time. Ooh, it's time to get ready for my costume party. Lots of friends are coming. I can help Mom bake my cake, and Dad can do a few chores before the guests arrive. Welcome, everybody. Just wait till my grandma gets here. She's bringing my red velvet cape. Another good place to stop, friends. Let's take a look at our retelling now. We learned so many things about Mateo. He's excited about this new red velvet cape. He told us that he wants to play with it at recess, that people will want to sit with him at circle time, and he also gave us lots of different things that they're going to do as a family to get ready for his party. That's a lot of detail, but we're only focusing on what's most important. So here's my sentence. Then Mateo can only think about his red velvet cape before he gets ready for his party. And let's check, did we do a VIP treatment? We did. I didn't put all those details, just the most important parts about thinking about the cape and getting ready for his party. Let's keep reading our story. Mateo, Grandma isn't bringing you a red velvet cape. It's your birthday. She's bringing you a red velvet cake. Oh dear. That definitely needs to be brought out in our retelling. So now we're on the next part in our middle retelling section, where we've learned that Mateo is shocked and surprised that Grandma is bringing a red velvet cake. So I've written, next Mateo hears that his grandma made him a red velvet cake, and that shocks him. Let's get to the end of our story and see what happens. Oh, he looks so sad. Mateo, look what Grandma brought you. Thank you for the cake, Grandma. Oh, no, I didn't know you wanted a cake. I'm so sorry. I made you a red velvet cape. Look how excited Mateo is. And there they go, friends. Grandma, Mateo, and all of his friends from his party go to fly. Let's finish our retelling now. So there we have the news that Grandma really did bring a red velvet cape. And I've written, in the end, Mateo learns that his grandma made him a red velvet cape after all. And the VIP treatment, just checking, we didn't write about the dog or flying, only that Grandma did bring that red velvet cape. Now, what we did was retell a story, and by retelling it, we also wrote each of our steps down in a sentence. And what's a fabulous result by writing all of this in a sentence is we now have a whole summary of everything we were thinking, from the characters, the setting, the beginning, the middle, and the end, the retelling summary of my red velvet cape. So boys and girls, now you are a master at retelling a story. Just remember to use the retelling with the high five, character, setting, beginning, middle, and end with the VIP treatment.